Hello, it's Randi Rhodes. Here's a clip from our show, and go to randyrhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.
Mary had a little man.
The fault. We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream today. Change has come to America.
Believe me.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show.
Turn up your mind.
What Giuliani is now pushing here in the United States could actually be part of Russia's latest and very massive disinformation campaign in the U.S. presidential election.
Massive indeed, Wolf. We do know that it's a very active Russian campaign. That's according to the U.S. intelligence community, and that Rudy Giuliani already had open contact with a person that the U.S. has called an agent for the Kremlin. Now, we are being told by two people who've been briefed on what the FBI is doing, that they're looking into whether these unverified emails about Hunter Biden that were published earlier this week by the New York Post about his business dealings in Ukraine and China are part of this bigger Russian disinformation effort in the 2020 election. Now, those efforts, according to the intelligence community, are to denigrate the Biden campaign and the former vice president in favor of President Trump. The New York Post says that they got these emails from Rudy Giuliani and Steve Bannon.
Oh, good God.
Bannon did not respond to our request for comment, but last month he told a Dutch broadcaster that people should stand by for a release of documents about Hunter Biden. Now, this is far from the first time that Giuliani has tried to dig up dirt and promote disinformation on the Bidens. He's been photographed with a Ukrainian politician whose name is Andrei Derkach. He has been named, Derkach, by the intelligence community as a Russian agent and actually been sanctioned by the U.S. Treasury Department. So you have Rudy Giuliani openly working with a known Russian agent, and the president was reportedly warned about it. The Washington Post now reporting that the intelligence community was so concerned about this that they told the White House, and then the National Security Advisor himself told the president that any information that Rudy Giuliani brought to him could be contaminated by Russia. Wolf.
That's pretty stark indeed. So what's Giuliani saying to this idea that he's become what his critics are calling a tool for the Russians?
Well, of course, he's denying all of this. He's trotting out the deep state argument that we've heard from many in the Trump orbit, saying that members of the intelligence community are out to get Trump. Take a listen to what he had to say earlier today on Fox News.
No one in the Trump administration warned me. No one in the intelligence community warned me. The president didn't say that to me. This is the first time I'm hearing that.
Right.
And I have a pretty good idea where it's coming from. And these are people who are trying to tear down Donald Trump and destroy his presidency
and
from
Mr. Mayor,
inside the intelligence community, of which there are many.
Now, Wolf, despite what he says there, it is clear that this latest effort by Giuliani is raising all sorts of red flags, enough for the FBI to now be looking at this as potentially part of Russia's broader attacks on the U.S.
Russia is attacking the United States again, inserting themselves into our elections again, except this time they're using Rudy instead of Junior. You know, Rudy goes to Ukraine. Rudy actually goes to Ukraine to meet with this Russian intelligence officer, Andrei Derkach. At least Junior was too lazy to go anywhere. They came to him. They went to the Trump Tower. Remember? Natalia Veselnitskaya. Yeah. It's an amazing thing. So Rudy is being used by Russian intelligence to spread disinformation to people in the United States who are falling again for Pizzagate 2.0. I swear to God, there's an accusation of porn. You know who made it? You know who actually said that there was porn on Hunter Biden's computer? No less than Ron Johnson of Wisconsin, who has to be the stupidest senator we have. And that's saying a lot because we got some really dumbasses in there. But Ron Johnson literally, now, here's the thing. Fox News will not go with, they won't report out anything about the New York Post story being authentic or reliable. Even Fox News won't do it, okay? They won't. Their reporters won't. Their opinion people will. Because, Sean Hannity's ex-producer is over at the New York Post, and she put her name on that story. But the Chris Wallaces, the Bill Hammers, they're not going to put their name on it. And so, therefore, when Ron Johnson wanted to go and allege that there's child pornography on this computer, he had to go to Fox Business. He had to go to Fox Business. So he booked himself on Maria Bartiromo's show to say that there's that this is Pizzagate 2.0, right?
Is there a connection here? Should this suggest that there's a child pornography issue here on that laptop?
Well, I think you just made the connection. Again, this is what the FBI, I think, has to come clean about. This isn't a standard investigation where, you know, if the FBI doesn't indict somebody, that everything remains confidential. This is something that, as we were talking about, relates to national security. And if there's criminal activity involved that could be tied to Hunter Biden or his business associates, or even possibly tied back to other members of the Biden family, and as some of these emails indicate, that Joe Biden was fully aware of this. He was taking his 10% cut or requiring 50% from his family member's salary. This needs to be known before Americans go to the polls.
So was the FBI agent who served the subpoena investigating child pornography, Senator?
Well, you just read the news report. I can't comment any further. I don't want to speculate other than to say that what I said publicly before, our report uncovered so many troubling connections, so many things that need to be investigated, that I really think we're just scratching the surface. And yes, I've heard all kinds of things that I think will probably be revealed over the next few days. There's a treasure trove of emails and video and pictures in not only the purported computer of Hunter Biden, but now we've got the co-conspirator, Bevan Cooney, that also starting to reveal information. I guess we're probably going to just find more information every day over the next couple of weeks.
This is okay. So this guy, Bevan Cooney, that he's referring to, that's the Peter Schweitzer, Steve Bannon, Breitbart story. That a guy who is in jail for fraud is suddenly going to surrender his emails, which the FBI has had for years because he was indicted, prosecuted, and sentenced. But Ron Johnson, I don't know, maybe when he spent the 4th of July in, Red Square, maybe when he went to Moscow, something good happened for him financially. I have no idea why he would do such a thing, but there he is. And the idea that Ron Johnson would go on Fox Business and declare that Hunter Biden has a computer, that even though Hunter Biden lives in LA where there are plenty of Mac stores, that he went 3,000 miles away to drop off with a blind computer repairman and never picked up his computer, although the blind man says he's got an invoice with Hunter Biden's personal contact information on it, but he never contacted Hunter Biden about picking up his computer. Instead, he gave it to Rudy Giuliani. And apparently Rudy Giuliani has had it during the entire impeachment and trial of Donald Trump, who was impeached for going to President Zelensky in Ukraine, shaking him down, withholding military aid so that they could defend themselves against Russia's incursion into Crimea. Oh, my God. And was impeached for it because he wanted dirt on Hunter Biden in exchange. Now, Rudy Giuliani has had this computer during this whole, if you make the timeline, he's had this computer during the entire impeachment. He had the computer during the entire trial. But only now, 15 days ahead of the election, Rudy Giuliani is sitting there saying, and Steve Bannon is alleging that there's porn on it. There's child porn on it. Not just porn. Child's porn. A pedophile. It's the QAnon crap. And people are literally going to play that game all over again in their heads in order to cast a vote for a man they know has no health care plan, has no plan for infrastructure, has no plan for, his second term, has no immigration plan, has on any of the topics that they say they're concerned about. He has no plan. In fact, there is no GOP platform for 2020. They didn't do one. They just said whatever Donald Trump wants to do, that's where we are. That's what we do. There was no GOP. Now, Biden has pages and pages. He's got a whole website with his health care plan, his Medicaid plan for people 60 to buy into Medicare if you want. He's got a plan for climate change, a multi-trillion-dollar business. Meanwhile, China's GDP, do you know what China is growing while we are being smushed under the foot of the orange orangutan who's taking intel from Putin. China's GDP was almost 5%. Almost 5%. They are growing. And how are they doing it? Renewable energy. But these people want to believe so bad that you can't trust anybody. You can't trust the governors, can't trust Whitmer, can't trust Cuomo, can't trust Fauci, can't trust the intelligence community, deep state, you know. Can't trust the FBI, Chris Wray, who says white supremacy is the biggest threat America faces, disappointed. Can't trust anybody. You can only trust him. Go to RandiRhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.